What's good, man?
Nothing, bro. It's been a long day. You good?
Yeah, I'm calm. I'm calm. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. All things considered, it was great to be honest.
Yeah, that's great, man. Firstly, thank you very much. Really appreciate you giving me time to chat
No,
to you. I appreciate that a lot, a lot.
thank you. I appreciate you asking.
I've gone through Babasa.
Oh yeah.
I follow them on LinkedIn, and I came across I think maybe Poku shared
Yeah.
an article. Basically, it was Bristol trailblazer, young, up and coming, landed the dream.
Yeah.
That. And I was like, right, okay, you know what? Let me chat to this guy and see, what you say. I want to like how you've got into Babasa, because I seen the stuff you're doing. You're doing a lot. When I say doing the most, you're doing the most.
Thank you.
It is yeah. I just want to how'd you get here? What you've been through and all that stuff.
Yeah. You asked about Babasa, so I didn't. I met Pokey last year, was it? They were doing a film with my mum. My mum's a CEO. She owns her own company. And
Okay.
she owns a handbag design company.
Yo, all right, shout out to Mumsy then.
Yeah, man. She's gonna be at London Fashion Week this week.
Yo, all right.
But she started that like 2 years ago, and it's done. She's done pretty well for herself. She's been in Vogue, GQ.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, so she's building up, and they did a film about her and a bunch of other people from Bristol,
Yeah.
and that was done through Babassa, and that's kind of where I met Poku, and then we just kind of, I just like to speak to people, same way that you reach out to people. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Reach out to Poku and was like, yeah, we should hang out, get a coffee or whatever, and we just kind of spoke and ended up getting on.
Mm.
He thought I would be good for his just to work with. He just invited me to be a part of Babassa and what they're doing,
Mm.
and I agreed. So that's kind of how I got into that. As for how I've got here, boy, that's such a my question. I don't know. Now I do know. I so I started off. I don't know. Where do you want me to begin? That's a good question because there's a lot of things that get. There's
Uh,
a lot of things.
that's not. I don't even know. But okay, you raised and born in Bristol, or born and raised in Bristol?
Family's Jamaican mostly, but I'm born here.
Yeah. All right. Explains the I was going for your name and I was like, I'm just
Yeah, African.
all right.
That's African name. It's just my mum picked it. We've got family in Ghana and
Yeah.
Haiti. Our family's from everywhere, innit? So,
That's bad. That's bad. So, do you get to travel to them places or?
you know what? I've not been to Ghana yet, bro. I want to.
Yeah.
Not. Um, I haven't even been to Jamaica since my mum got married there, which was a while ago.
Yo, you're missing out, man. I ain't been to these places, but I hear it's proper lit, man.
Jamaica's lit. It's beautiful. It's something else. But
Yeah.
this year I plan to go on more trips, and then so Texas next month, and then
That I was gonna ask about that because when I messaged you, that's why I asked about the time zone because
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that you landed something in Texas.
yeah. No, I haven't landed yet, but I will be soon.
How do you feel about that?
It's exciting, man. It's
Yeah.
exciting. So, yeah, it's a lot to take in because it's South by Southwest, which is like the world's largest interactive media festival. So you have art festivals, film, tech, music. You have Google. Barack Obama speaks there. ASAP Rocky. Like it's everything that you could think of. So for me, it's like everything that I like. Like
Yeah.
I love tech. I love art. I love film. I make films. I make all of this. So it's like it's just going to be such a good place for me to be. And it's all the fact that they've all taken care of it. It's all paid for. I don't have to do anything. Everything's sorted out. I just get to show up. I got some media obligations that I'm
Yeah.
doing. Apart from that stuff, I'm just there to enjoy Texas. You feel me?
That's mad. That's mad. How did you pattern that though? How did you get that opportunity?
I won the award. So it's called the BMA Award, Ben Martin Apprentice,
Mm.
and this is basically they give an award they give out to creatives within the art and technology sector specifically.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I wasn't even gonna go for it. I've got a cousin who's a graphic designer. She's worked with like Disney, Oral B,
Yo.
designer, and she won it last year.
Yeah.
And I actually remember her winning that and going to text the same way. And then when it came up to this year, she was like, "Bro, you should apply." And I was kind
Yeah.
of like, I don't even know if it's on my radar. And she was just like, "Nah, just go for it." And then a few other people from like working in Mabasa was like, "I think you should go for it because of like my work and everything I've done. It kind of aligns with it."
Yeah.
So yeah, I just ended up like I sent an application through, like, yeah, this is me. So I think I stand out. I did I did like a video presentation, which ended up being like a little art piece. I
Alright.
just got away with it. And then from there, literally, I think I had an interview, and then 2 hours after my interview, they were like, "Yeah, you won." I was like, "Raw, okay."
Wow. 2 hours after the interview,
Yeah, it was crazy.
you must have come with something special, man.
I don't know, maybe I just went there to have fun, man. That's my ethos.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't concerned whether I won or lost it. I just wanted to kind of go there and just speak to people and just just have fun, and it just worked out.
Nah, nah, I mean that's the key to like anything like these days. Like you wanna excel in anything, you gotta have fun doing it. You wanna excel in anything, you gotta have fun doing it.
He ain't lying.
100%. I always think like where you work, you should try and align your values and what you enjoy with what you do as much as you can, as best as you can. 100%. I always think like where you work, you should try and align your values and what you enjoy with what you do as much as you can, as best as you can.
But that's hard though, because like there's something I noticed on your accolade of titles, creative designer. How would you define a creative designer?
Creative director.
Sorry, creative director. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Um, so creative direction, the reason why, like how would you define it is pretty ambiguous, but essentially creative directors are people who direct the creativity of a project, whether it's a film, whether it's a music video, whether it's a magazine. They essentially work like a lot like art directors,
Mm.
a bit more involved than art directors in the actual process. And that really came about because I realized I'm an artist first and foremost who
Yeah.
does things. So like when I made a film for the BBC, like that was my chance to make a form of video art on camera, and luckily I got to do it on such a big platform. And when I make a music video here, I've made art using code. I've made like everything I do is like an expression of art, like it's a form of. So I just felt like, and because I've done it in so many different genres at the moment, where it be it advertising, film, music, code. Um, the most overspanning thing that connects all those is just that I was leading creative direction. So that's why I picked. That's why I chose creative director. So I got an all-encompassing title.
No, I like that definition because that on my CV. I've put future creative director because I'm into advertising. I love advertising.
That's
I
what I
love,
got started.
like I love everything to do with adverts. I'm like a geek when it comes to adverts. Like I don't know if you've seen it. There's this new Facebook campaign ad. I think it's called something togetherness, and it's basically like Facebook advertising about the different groups. They're trying to like push out the fact that there's a group for pretty much everything in the world. But the way they created that, like it was just one group leading to another. It was based around a rock. So there was a rocket group, there was a rock climbing group, there was a rock sculpting. There was like different groups, and at the end they finished off with like Sylvester Stallone and Chris Rock, and I'm like, yo, like that was like stuff like that, like the Super Bowl, like literally like almost every ad in the Super Bowl I've like analyzed and like, yo, that is dope.
Yeah.
Like there's a question because I've got a mentor from Mombasa, Chris, and he said like, what is it that I want to do in terms of advertising because it's so broad. Like, what role would you like to play? And like I try and like speak to people in agencies, and I'm like, can you give me the opportunity to come see like what a day to day is like, so I can know who does what? Because I wanna work with similar minds, like creative minds. I wanna know who came up with that idea. Like, is it just one person? Was it a collective? Was it a back and forth? Like, what role do people play? So when I saw that creative director stuff, I was like, I gotta ask you about that. Like, how do you define that?
Yeah.
That's mad. That's mad.
I like that. You sound passionate about it.
I'm passionate about that. I just need to I need to make something of my passion, man. Like I'm just chasing and chasing.
That's the start. That's the best place to start from.
What?
And that's how I was when I got in advertising. Just doing something you're passionate about and chasing that. Then you'll be the best.
How did you? Because all right, you've built websites. You talk about coding. You're a videographer. You're like, What was the first step for you? How did you get onto this?
Marketing. So I went to university in business school, Labes in Cambridge.
Yeah,
I did marketing, and that was because I was really interested in experiential marketing, which is marketing through experience. My One of my favorite ads growing up was, apart from there was a Google ad. I can't remember what it was called. It's to do with Google Translate, and then there was a Coca-Cola ad, the Coca-Cola Twist.
all right.
They took Coca-Cola onto a uni campus in America.
Yeah,
And what they did is they gave it out to students on their first day, like first years.
yeah.
The only way you could open it is if you actually connected your lid with someone else's and twisted it.
Oh, all
You
right.
had to break the ice and like approach other people and be like, "Oh, can you help me open my drink?" And
Yeah,
then talking. And the
yeah,
idea of friendships built around the Coca-Cola brand, and they
yeah,
filmed that ad, and it was just amazing to me. So that's what I wanted to go and do. I was always interested in experience, psychology, and just being a creative, like directing. And I thought I couldn't make a film, ironically enough. So I thought that ad would be like a short. They're like short movies, isn't it? To me,
yeah,
so I make short films like that. And then I started directing. I luckily was able to land a gig directing and running, starting my own, leading a campaign for a company in my third year of university.
yo,
Because I was like, I clued on very quickly. Like I never went uni for the degree. I went there for the connections and experience. And I knew that if I left university with just a degree, it would kind of be a waste of my time personally. That's how I feel. So I wanted to get something else out of it. So I was doing like a blog, I was doing other things, and luckily I was able to land an ad. Um, and that was the first advert I ever directed and like campaign I ever like just built the concept from the start and ran it, and it was successful and it was fun. So that was kind of when I got my feet wet into directing and marketing, and I was like, okay, I enjoy this. Let's experiment. Like, let's see. I like directing. I'm getting paid to do it. What the hell? Let's try out some more.
yeah,
Direct music videos, some behind the scenes stuff, little docs here and there, and that's kind of how I got into that side of it, of the filming side, and then eventually that led to the BBC.
hmm,
Alongside that, last year I was working in insurance.
hmm.
I hated it. It was terrible, but it paid really well, and it was part of my. I don't know. I don't know if you do this, but I think it's good to make goals, like yearly, to make goals, like yearly, to make goals, like yearly plans. I have a mentor, and he always stressed me about planning ahead and being strategic, and I've always been a strategic thinker anyway. So I mapped out like a 2018, 2019, 2020 like plans of kind of what I want for my years. And I knew I had to invest.
How broad was the plan? Like was it like monthly or was it like?
It wasn't monthly, it was broke down into like SMART goals. I used it as a soft framework. So break it down into like personal, career, education, financial, categories of goals. And I knew I needed to invest in myself. So I wanted to buy a MacBook. The laptop I'm talking on you now was a new Mac that I needed for like, so I could edit videos, make websites, code, whatever. So I knew I had to save up for that, and I knew I had to start investing because I'm a big proponent for, big supporter for financial independence. I want to get into real estate. I've always wanted to have assets and make my money work for me. I don't want to have to work. So with that, I started to get involved in investing. I knew I needed a good job to kind of get that started. So I started working in insurance with aims of moving into the marketing department for a while, like 6 months I was working there. But I worked there, I saved up a good investment portfolio, bought my MacBook, use it to help me direct a video here and there. And then I realized I had enough money, like I had kind of got what I wanted out of it. And along that, this is what I mentioned about like making your hobbies your career, because while I was doing that, I was learning how to design. Like I was just designing apps and throwing them out online just for fun. Like I
Yeah,
would like find an app. I see something on Twitter, like when someone like redesigns apps, and
yeah,
so I must have went on and downloaded Adobe Creative Cloud and stuff.
yeah,
Took apps that I used or like apps that I would want to use
yeah.
and try to design them or redesign them, and then just put it out on Instagram or social media just to share it in it. And then from doing that consistently, it just started to pick up, and then people started asking me about work here, and I'll pay you to redesign my site here, or do this, and then that's how the it kind of expanded from just video and adverts to application design, and then eventually I realized, okay, I want a bit more control and a bit more leverage. So I knew I needed to learn how to code as well. So because there's design and there's development. And there's that stage when you design a project, you got to hand over to the developers, and it's just less control for you. And it was more money and less money for you as well because they have to pay the developer instead. So I just paid for some coding courses, bought some books, and just while I was working and making a film, I don't know how I did it because that year,
That was going to be my next question. Like all of this whilst you're working full time
yeah,
insurance company, all of this whilst in that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
yeah, bro. Eventually, I realized, okay, I want a bit more control and a bit more leverage. So I knew I needed to learn how to code as well. So because there's design and there's development. And there's that stage when you design a project, you got to hand over to the developers, and it's just less control for you. And it was more money and less money for you as well because they have to pay the developer instead. So I just paid for some coding courses, bought some books, and just while I was working and making a film, I don't know how I did it because that year,
that was going to be my next question. Like all of this whilst you're working full time insurance company, all of this whilst in that.
It was mad. I can't lie. I was drinking so many coffees every day. Like I to get tired, and then I would just try and take holidays off where I could. And when I would take holidays off, I'd use that to either work on the film or work on like developing the skills and design and whatever. And then after about 6 months, when it got to my birthday, I realized that like I've got all I needed from this job. It's not progressing me. I'm not enjoying it. And I'm a person, if I don't like something, I can't do it. It used to be my detriment in school, but now as I'm older, I guess it's kind of helped me because I can't do something I don't want to do. So I just left. I just said, yeah, guys, like it's great, but I'm leaving. Told my mom I'm leaving. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm quitting. And then the way how the universe works is mad because, oh God, however you want to put it, because like that week I got my first contract for website and design and development. And it was like bigger than my pay that I got paid for my monthly job. So I was like, raw, like, this is me. And I was self-employed from then. And then from then I just, carried on growing and learning, and everything just went according to plan. Like all the plans I had, it went even better than I could have planned. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into all this multiple lanes. So I started off in marketing and directing. And I went to obviously creative director music videos and films, and then websites and application technology. And I always liked, again, I was a big proponent of art and I like tech. So doing this website and coding thing, it helps me because there's the creative side and there's the technological side.
Yeah.
And I just think it's like important thing I would stress, just make sure that you figure out who you are, what you like, what resonates with you, and try and as best you can make sure whatever you're doing aligns with that. So
was this all? So this was all self. So what was your actual degree in uni? Like, what was your actual degree title?
My degree was marketing.
Marketing, but then outside that, all of these you taught yourself. Like,
I just taught. I like to learn, and one thing about me, I was a big nerd, and I just love to learn new things. When I was younger, the people I looked up to were always just smart people who could articulate themselves well.
Yeah.
Growing up, even like now I'm a lot better, but before I just wasn't that good at expressing myself, which is why I got into art, because I could tell you something in it, but I couldn't tell you.
That's ironic, like a creative that cannot express himself.
Bro, and I can't do and like, so it used to frustrate me. So I used to be really like passionate about just knowing what I'm talking about and being able to say exactly what I want to say, how I want to say it. So yeah, I just wanted to learn. And when I left university, I just picked up loads of books, like classics in all fields, be it politics, philosophy. The main things was like psychology, because I think psychology is really important in every industry, but also for yourself, knowing yourself and knowing people around you. What else? Microeconomics.
You picked up a book on macroeconomics after uni.
Yeah, game theory, maths. I didn't even like maths in school, but I wanted to learn it. Just things like that, and just started just learning as best as I can.
You're not playing when you say you love to learn. Like,
it's key. My knowledge is key, bro. My knowledge is key, bro. My knowledge is key, bro. It's key. My knowledge is key, bro.
Key, but macro. I did macro in uni, and I ain't gonna lie. Like, I did it first year, and that was a struggle.
Yeah,
a struggle. So for you to say you finished uni, and on top of everything that you're doing, you pick up a book of macro.
Yeah, I go through phases. Like recently, I just finished politics. I went through like 5. I went through The Prince by Machiavelli, Common Sense by Tom Paine, The Social Contract by Rousseau, and Notes on Nationalism by George Orwell. So that's politics reading, and now I'm going back to psychology. Now I go back to economics and game. So I kind of just cycle through. But yes, I think it's key, bro. Read, and try and read the fundamental foundations. Like go back to the classic books in every genre, the ones that aren't really opinionated and are as scientific as possible. And yeah, it does wonders for you, because I think it's like they say, the people you hang around with affect you, like your environment shapes you. I also think when you're reading a whole book written by someone, a great thinker, you're essentially like listen to that person's thoughts for their entire life, all like jumbled in these 100 pages. And it rubs off on you, man. It's not about even just about remembering everything. It's just you build an intuition for what makes it. That's why reading biographies are great. For if you want to know about success, reading successful people's biographies are great. You just have to pick up on trends and intuitions. But yeah, that's kind of why I read in a nutshell. I'm a nerd. I could talk about that for ages, but
Nah, that's like, there's something you said that I've never really thought of. Because a lot of people talk about books, like successful people, like the most successful people in the world, they tell you read.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a friend of mine, Tabo. He just wrote a book, and he's always, you know, he's a advocate for reading. It's always like, you know, you gotta read, like reading. But he said something that just, you know, struck with me. Like reading is you know, seeing into the mind of, you know, someone else. Like you're reading their thoughts, and that's mad, because I'm trying to surround myself by people I can learn, people who are smarter than me. Because I can't remember what it was, but there's someone that said, if you're the smartest in your group, then you know, you've got to be in a group where at least, you know, you're not the second, you're not the third, you're not the fourth smartest person in that group. But also surround yourself with those who you want to aspire to be, those who are doing things you want to do. But I know for me, I have that trouble of trying to, you know, set up that relationship, because the way I am, I meet people, and if we click, we click. But so I don't know how to approach people with a agenda, because I just feel like
it's weird. You shouldn't. It's not. Yeah, it's not good.
So I just feel forced. But then you saying that about reading, I'm just like, actually, you know what? Maybe take that as another way to surround yourself by.
I'm saying that's 100% what I do. Because it can be difficult sometimes to find the right people, but you can pick up a book from anyone and just and so almost surround yourself with that people, and you can read enough great books. It's like you've been around enough great people, it rubs off on you. But yeah, just be. I mean, the best advice I ever got, and I always give, is read what you love until you love to read. Don't feel like you need to go and jump into reading Wealth of Nations or whatever. Like read whatever you want, and then eventually get bored of that and move on. Whereas I read comics, manga, whatever, stuff like that. So, but also be careful what you read, because there's a lot of books out there, and not all of them are useful. Some of them you can skim through and get the gist. But like the fundamental books in like science, psychology, microeconomics, not macro.
Why'd you say macro, not micro? No, micro, not macro.
Macroeconomics has more useful concepts, I think. Macroeconomics, they say like it's easier to bullshit the macro bullshit than it's the micro bullshit, and I think microeconomics is more applicable to, like, because it's on a smaller scale, isn't it? I think it's more applicable to you and us, and those are concepts I use not only in business but just in life as well. The 80-20 principles, things like that. But yeah, macroeconomics, game theory is good. But yeah, like those kind of core scientific subjects are really good.
Do you read to absorb the knowledge, or does it just go with you, or do you have to like repeat a page until you?
Honestly, for me, Mike, when it comes to reading, when I'm reading a lot, my brain I always have brain fog. That's what I always had since I was young. So I always used to think I was stupid, and then what happens when I use my brain when I read? It's like I remember everything. It's weird. So the more I read, the better I get at reading, the more I get retaining it. But I'm a deep reader, so I like to read, highlight, question what's like if something stands out to me, I really like to think about the idea and write about it. Like that's the type of reader I am. Like I just kind of read a book, something resonates with me, ponder this, might even speak to someone about it. And I luckily have a good following who engages in that, as well as a good friends who are ready to kind of discuss these ideas with me. So that kind of helps me process stuff. But obviously, you don't need to worry about retention too much because no one can remember a book word for word. It's more of a subconsciously it soaks up. And that's just with everything. Like what you pay attention to. There's that great thing, and then it's like what you are what you give your attention to. And I think also in the meditations you mentioned it's like the color of your thoughts, like what you feed your mind shapes your soul and who you are.
Jeez.
And that's everything. So the books you're reading, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the things that you're watching, like all of that stuff shapes you and rubs off on you. You are what you give your attention to. And I think also in the meditations you mentioned it's like the color of your thoughts, like what you feed your mind shapes your soul and who you are.
Jeez.
And that's everything. So the books you're reading, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the things that you're watching, like all of that stuff shapes you and rubs off on you.
Means rewind, the gunshot means forward. You requested it, so we rewound.
Subconsciously, even if you're not remembering things scene for scene or word for word. So that's how books work as well.
Man. That is a lot to take on. That's a lot to take on. But like definitely I'm feeling like what you're giving out, and
Appreciate that, man. That's good.
like that's great, man. That's great. Again, congratulations on the award, by the way. Never say congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Like that's great. That's great. So
Yeah.
so website designer, app designer, creative director, videographer.
I've never been a videographer. I'm a director. I always have a
All right, correction, director, no videographer. For someone who's so like myself now, I want to get into advertising. I want to create adverts. What would you advise would be a step to take in trying to get a foot into an agency or get noticed or anything like that?
It's hard because I didn't go that route, so I can't. I feel like I can't really give that advice. The whole reason I went to do my own stuff was because even with my education and qualifications, whatever, it was really difficult to actually get a job in marketing.
Yeah, I'm applying at least 10 a day, man.
Yeah, bro, that's just real life. That's everyone. So I just did it myself.
But that's the thing. I got ideas, but trying to create those ideas, trying to bring them out, like
you just got to invest in yourself and make it. That's what I reckon. Like if I always had that mentality of like if one door is shut, I'll make another one kind of thing. So yeah, and I think people respect that, and it's the best way. So maybe get a camera and shoot an ad, or like shoot a mock ad, or even like my boy got doing stuff for Adidas, and he started off just doing like fake Nike campaigns. He would just make them with his boys.
So did you have like a group of you that sort of like-minded, and did that aid you towards creating stuff, or did you just start off solo?
Yes and no. So like I've got a good variety of friends and family members who are my friends, like, and they do different things. So some of my friends at university, not most of them they weren't really creative. They were like business, finance, authors, bankers, business owners, whatever. And then like my family's a creative family though. So my cousin's a musician. My granddad's a reggae, well-known, like quite renowned reggae artist.
Yeah, what's your granddad?
His name's Dennis Mccalla. So he's in a film. He's even in a film right now. I just found out today. Film that's going to be at Pan Africa Festival. So they're eligible for Oscar nominations, and I'm hoping.
Jeez, man, bless the talents the family is.
With that, his brother founded the Voice newspaper. I don't know if you've heard of the Voice.
No, apart from the one on the TV. No.
The biggest black newspaper in history in the UK, and many black journalists like Gary Young, all of the old school like big black journalists all came through the Voice. That's what used to give them a platform. Now,
Right.
my granddad's brother. So like my family are all like entrepreneurial, quite. Obviously, mum does her own business. Like my cousins in design. So that stuff, I guess, kind of rubs off on me. But I started off just kind of just doing my own thing. I was just like, I just wasn't a sit around and waiting kind of person. I don't think you should be. I feel like you kind of have to make opportunities for yourself and stay prepared at all times. So that's what I tried to do. So I just thought, let me just do adverts, let me do my own projects.
Yeah.
People come, I have leverage. Like I've made this stuff. I'm not waiting on someone to give me a shot. Like
Yeah.
make you have to ask me. Whereas like now, it's different because now people want to work with me more. Like it's weird. Life will change for you. Trust me. If you're consistent,
Yeah.
you put the work in, everything changes. Because I remember 2018 when I was leaving uni and I wasn't getting any offers, like turned down all the time. No one really wanted to work with me like that. Whereas now it's the complete opposite. Now it's every couple of days an offer comes through, and you have to be more strategic about what you say yes to and what you don't. And like things can actually just change so quickly in the space of a year
Mm.
with consistency and hard work. So yeah, like I would recommend just starting. I would build your own portfolio yourself. If no one else is going to give you that chance, you just got to make it for yourself.
Mm. Mm.
Anyway, and eventually, then the same people that wasn't really trying to work with you then will be the ones asking you to come work for them or work with them.
Fair do, man.
Shoes on your foot. So
No, it's a step I've taken. It's a step I've taken because, like, I've looked on LinkedIn and I've seen what people in that field I want to get into, what they've done. I'm trying to follow them in the steps. But I've been to uni, I've done a degree in business management. I don't want to go and do another 3 years. So,
okay,
because a lot of creatives they've had a sort of creative degree. So either like I don't know, something to do with the arts or something to do with illustration, or it's just sort of a creative background. But then I see a lot of them started off as a copywriter. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try, do my own stuff. And I created like an Instagram page. So right now I'm working on a collection of Valentine's cards. So every day it's a new card, but it's a build up. I wanna do more. I wanna consciously work on what I want or on where I want to be at, so, which is creating an ad. So I'm gonna take from what you said about the consistency, about creating my own ads, about just going out there and taking my own shot, and I'll see where that gets to. And definitely you should pick up a book.
yeah, like just invest in yourself as much as you possibly can. That's the best advice I'll give anyone. Invest in yourself and be yourself and learn to be authentic. And that takes time, but you can do it easily. And because I know it sounds cliche to say it all the time, and like, no one can be a better you, and it's real true. And when you learn to stop being yourself, I remember like I used to try and like be someone else, even like interviews, like meetings, like networks, like all that stuff. Like
Yeah,
it never worked because it was fake. Like people can tell you being yourself, and you feel uncomfortable. Just
yeah.
be. There's so many people in this world. There's bound to be other people like you that can resonate with you and relate to who you are. But that's it. Be yourself. Invest in yourself.
I appreciate, man. I appreciate.
Stay focused, energy.
I appreciate, honestly.
No problem, man.
Like, I don't know, maybe some other time, if you got time, if you wanna spare me another 30 minutes or so, maybe when you get to Texas, like how you finding South by Southwest and all that stuff. If you can, I'd appreciate. But again, I'm very grateful for like
No,
you give
thanks.
me the chance like everyone's too busy these days to actually give you a piece of their time. So when you replied and said, "Yeah, don't mind," I was proper gassed, man. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "Yo," like, and thanks because I've gotten like a few good pointers from like the stuff you said.
Good, I'm happy because I'm tired as hell today. I was like, when you messaged me, I was like, oh my god, I thought I had a meeting. I was about to go to bed. I'm glad I wasn't completely waffling.
Thanks, man. Thanks. How do you feel if I share this out, like if there's anyone else that was interested in hearing your story?
Parts of it are useful, and you think someone will benefit from it, then
I don't know, but like you've said a lot of things that I can take out of this conversation, and I don't know who else needs to hear that. Like, you know, there are people that need help, but they can't ask, they don't know who to ask, or they ask but don't get any answers. So if anyone comes across, you know, because this is just a brief segment of who you are. So if anyone comes across, you know, this and finds it useful, then I'll be glad that they got to hear your story, man.
I think the best, one of the things I would say is like, the best way you can kind of inspire people, I don't know, but I don't know about inspiring people, but I recommend taking it.
You started all right. Let's put it that way.
And just, if you think anything in this conversation has been valuable, great. Take it on, do it, and set that example for other people as well. That's probably the best way you can, as opposed to, because sharing words is great and videos are good and they get people interested or excited for the moment, but I do think there's something deeper when you set an example and do it yourself and give people something to aspire to around you. I think that's one of the biggest ways to make an impact. So yeah.
Would you be back in Bristol anytime soon after Texas, or you?
That's a good question. After I come back from Texas, I'll be back in Bristol. Where are you from? Are you in Bristol as well, or in London?
Yeah, no, I'm in Bristol.
Okay. So
for the time being, depends on where the opportunities take me.
Yeah.
But if I don't know, if you're free at any point in time, if you don't mind, you know, linking up, I can shoot some ideas with you. Like, you can help me understand, you know, things better, or just any advice you can offer, or just even if you want to work on a project together, or you've got something that you feel like, you know what, I can give someone an opportunity. Like, because right now I finished uni 4 years ago, and for the first time in my entire, since I started thinking about what I want to do myself, I know that I want to go into advertising. So now I'm trying to learn from wherever I can get information from, and, you know, sort of build and start, you know, trying to get to that point. So if you got anything going, if you just want to anything, just, you know, give me I'll even get in touch with you before you even give me a shout. But
yeah, man.
Do keep in mind, man.
Definitely. But I probably won't be free until after I get back from Texas.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, we can start something. Go get a coffee or something like that.
Yeah, you say you going next month, yeah?
Yeah, like 3.5 weeks, I think, or it might be 4 weeks exactly.
All right. So let's say, like, I give you time to settle and all that. Let's just say, like, towards like end of April time.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right. Okay.
It's been a pleasure, Maggie.
Nah, the pleasure is all mine. Like, thanks again ever so much. Like, honestly, thanks very much.
No worries. The best.
You've really blessed me with some knowledge today, man.
Thank you.
And you have yourself a great time in Texas. And
I would
try, yo. That just sounds mad, man. That sounds mad. Yeah.
When you next see me, I'm gonna have a cowboy hat on.
hey, nah. Let's leave that in 2019, man. Let's leave that in 2019.
Alright, man. Take care, yeah.
All right. Thanks ever so much, Okori.